today I have a guest that I forced onto my channel.
As long as you know it's forced.
It is Uncle John. So today is my second YouTube video, and you gave me tips in my previous video, and you guys told me stuff I can improve on, so I'm gonna try my best today. And people are gonna complain why I'm doing my hand, because I don't even have long nails.
I don't know where the hand is coming from.
It's when you have a YouTube channel, you go.
Okay.
Okay, so today our topic will be stages of a relationship. I saw this on Pinterest like 30 minutes ago, and I was supposed to make a YouTube video about something else, but then I asked John if he'd be keen to share about this. And you have to keep still.
Hey, it's about natural things.
Because in Mexico, we get tired of you.
It's fine.
You lie. Okay, so stages of a relationship are romance, accommodation, challenge, complete trust, sexual exploration, stability, commitment, and co-creation. So,
unfortunately.
Why unfortunately?
Because now we have offspring.
Wow.
Yeah, start with your romance thing.
Okay, romance. We probably would go into how we met. We met at the gym.
Thing to do.
Then we started dating. I'm trying to do a summary, but there's so much stuff I can't skip. Do you want to tell us?
No, or you tell your version and then I'll tell my version.
So our event, I saw.
How shame.
I don't know what happened to my tongue. My brain is processing too much stuff. So I signed up to DUT Gym when I was a student with a friend, and then I saw John there, and he was our trainer / the gym manager, and then he was my friend / our friend, and then he messaged me to tell me that he likes me on WhatsApp, and then I told him I didn't like him back, and then fast forward.
No, you said you have a boyfriend.
Yes, and then fast forward to 1 year, I liked him back, and then we started dating.
She was in denial, but that's a different YouTube video on its own.
Why are you being ugly?
I'm not being ugly, I'm just telling the truth.
Okay, so that would be romance. Honeymoon phase. I don't think we had a honeymoon phase because we're very realistic. So we did not do like the corny relationship stuff. He's queen. He's king. What?
He's in her shirts.
He's queen.
King. He's queen, her king.
Yes, we didn't do that. Not that we have a problem, but we didn't do that. And we started dating at the end of September in 2014.
Yeah.
We got engaged after 5 years. 4? 5?
6.
Okay, John's number. I don't know how he saw the lights or what made him realize that he needs to fiancé me, but we got engaged. I did not expect it because my mom had just passed away the year before in July, and then we got engaged on the 7th of June. So Uncle John proposed on the 7th of June. We were on a little staycation because life was overwhelming me, and we went on a 2-day on a 2-day vacation, and then he proposed to me while I was asleep. A lot of people don't get it, but I'm a person that loves sleep so much. So John decided to propose in my sleep, and I woke up with a ring on my finger. It probably is the most absurd thing to you guys. It's probably because you don't get it. Because when I tell people the story, they don't even have like a reaction.
They're like,
They're just like, and I'm like, not your man, so you don't need to care. And I said no because I thought my ring was too big for me, as in my normal ring that I wear on my finger. So I said no because this is not my ring. Like, I was buffering.
You were in a dwell.
Yes, I had just woken up. Did we start planning our wedding? I don't think so, but I can't remember.
No, I don't think we planned then. We were just like, cool, maybe in a year, 2 years, we'll do a wedding. How we ended up starting to plan for the wedding is because you saw a special, the Brahman Hills special.
I saw a wedding special and I was like, cool, let's select a date.
And that was the one that we had. What was it?
It was the 25th of June, which is funny because that was actually Zia's due date. So that's like our lucky date.
I guess, but never lands on there.
Yes. And then we went to Brahman Hills and they told us you have to pay 25k deposits within 2 days. And we're like,
because who has 25k just
okay, so we chose a different venue. And then we planned to get married, and then coronavirus happened. And then we put our wedding off for the 25th of April, and we went to Home Affairs to sign for $20. Best decision ever, because we don't talk to a lot of people that were on our guest list. Life has a way of not splitting people up, but I think everyone goes on their own path,
own journey.
So I think looking back at the pictures, I'd be like, haven't seen this person in years, don't talk to this person, blah, 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 blah. So I was happy to go to Home Affairs, and then we got married there, had lunch at Spa with our moms, well, my grand, John's mom, my friend, and my sister.
Was your sister there? Yes.
Sisters there. And then in the evening, we went with a few friends to a restaurant.
I think it was basically the...
No, it wasn't the retinue.
Oh, I thought it was the retinue.
It wasn't. And then, yeah, that was our matrimony. And we moved in together in Feb. I was supposed to move in to a place alone because I had found a spot for myself, like to rent, but then I couldn't stay alone, so I asked John, would he like to be my roommate?
Couldn't stay alone.
I was scared.
You didn't even bother to stay one night and be like, cool, let's see how this goes.
We were anti-fat and sit,
and then
but
you were anti-fat and sit.
Happened.
Miss Christian girl.
February, March, and then in April we were supposed to get married.
Yeah, then lockdown. Decided to lock down.
In the beginning of our, literally the beginning of our relationship.
I think it was the first.
We stayed together for a month.
The month of our wedding, that's when lockdown hit.
Yep.
And we were like, are we going to be able to actually have a wedding? And then they kept extending. Because remember, it was supposed to be 2 weeks.
Yep. And then it was forever, so we just gave up.
I guess that's also accommodation.
That's accommodation. Moving in together was actually fun for me because I think we're both people that can lay out rules. We know boundaries. We were just like, this is what I like.
Both within our relationship, when moving in, when planning the wedding, I think we both are able to get to a point where we like, I need to tell this auntie she's overstepping her line, or I don't know why she's doing this, but I need to tell her it's irritating. And then you don't come back or get defensive or, oh well, I was only doing this because of this, and vice versa. So like the example with the wedding stuff, before we knew we're not having a wedding, your goal was to have a rustic, simple, basic wedding where minimal, not that there's going to be no decor, but minimal decor where it's literally just sage and eucalyptus tied together, and that's the on top of the table, and it's true.
With cute candles.
And then it went from that to other stuff and baskets and this and that and that. And I was like, I'm lost. You said you wanted a basic, minimalistic wedding. Now you're going overboard. Like, choose what you want, because what you're saying you want, and you kept saying, no, I want it to be minimal, but what you said and what you were doing were two different things. So I had to tell you, make up your mind. What you're saying and what you're doing are two different things. Choose what you want, because right now you're being, I don't know if the word hypocrite is correct, but what you weren't sticking to what you said you wanted. And I guess that sort of basis of our relationship, we were able to say when we moved in, because like even till now, I'm waiting for that stage of, wait until you realize he throws his clothes here, or he does this, he does
we
that.
don't do those type
We
of
figured
things.
it out, and we knew, like, honestly speaking, not to out you, you more
I'm an
untidy
untidy
than
person. I knew John was gonna say
And-
that, like,
which is weird because I'm an untidy person, but you, it's not filth, it's just clothes everywhere,
it's
and I'm
not
like,
filth. How am I supposed to
because
feel?
there's a difference between being filthy, where you're leaving sandwiches underneath the bed and it's smelling, or you're like, what's that cheesy bum smell coming from somewhere?
Wow.
I'll figure it out another day. It's not that, it's
Wow,
when you
you're
dress,
expanding on
cause
untidiness.
how when you dress, the whole wardrobe must come out until you find that one particular top.
Females almost.
Which is
we
why
don't
I've
know
never
what we want to
complained.
wear.
Which is why I've never complained.
You want us to look nice, so
I don't care whether you look nice or not. Don't
You
say you
do.
want us to look nice. We'll dress for each other. We've discussed this already. I'm saying when we moved in, I had to adjust to that, but it was never a thing of, hey, you filthy, please get out, stop dressing like this, or stop doing that. It was, you owned it before I had to even say. You was like, hey, I'm sorry, the room is untidy. By the end of this week, I'll have it sorted. And you did. Or if you didn't, you'd be like, I know I'm supposed to, but, and me too, like, I guess what? Using the toilet too often, and you like, yo, why are you taking 30 minutes to use the toilet? I'm like, because it's my alone time, and you had to get used to that.
Why are you escaping from me?
I'm not escaping from you. You have stuff that you do that's alone time. Women will go and do their hair, their nails, whatever.
Wait.
What do you mean? I said
don't
woman, plural. Guys will take 20 minutes to cut their hair. So where is their alone time? Women spend the whole Saturday by Bova sitting and blow drying and listening to stories. What do we do? And then the moment we decide, oh, we want to do PlayStation, it's a problem. So we go and
I've never
retreat
complained.
to the toilet. Do I have a PlayStation?
You didn't buy one.
You didn't want me to buy one.
I said I would play games with you.
When in lockdown and I said, let's buy a PlayStation, you said no.
I said okay.
You didn't. You said no. So the toilet is our sanctuary. We go. That's why it's called a throne. Okay. We go and sit on the throne for 30 minutes and watch YouTube.
I think that was the only problem I had with accommodation or moving in with John was the toilet. Like, I can't understand why dudes sit in the toilet for so long. But over the years, I've come to realize that all of them do that.
I think it's that and, or your issues were that and me being overplanned.
Yes, I couldn't get used to that. Everything. But I guess we have different home backgrounds and we are fusing them together to make it our
and me
home.
Cooking in like 25-liter pots.
Yes, John used to make bulk meals because John is the better cook. So he always makes our meals. I feel like people always judge me for this, but I'm really unbothered because I'm sure y'all loves cook. Most people that have had John's food know that it's super, super good. So why would I waste ingredients and attempt a meal when I know there's someone that could make it better without the recipe? But it's not taking advantage of him. He's enjoy fine cooking. So but yeah.
It's like, I don't know how to explain. You would rather clean and I don't want to clean. So we found a balance.
Switch chores. And I'll wash dishes and he will make food. Or I will hang washing and he can put the washing on. That type of stuff. Challenges? Not.
I think we just.
I won't say we don't fight. We do, but we don't.
We have disagreements. Fighting are, in my opinion, I don't want to say that's the true definition in the book.
Because people always think that we lie.
But for me, I think we have disagreements, and you'll sit in your corner because you don't exactly like me at that point, and then I'd be like,
But I
whatever,
will
go
tell
and
you,
sulk, it's
I'm
fine.
going away for an hour because I don't want to be your friend.
And it might not even be you don't like me, you just don't like what I said because you don't agree with
the
it.
truth.
But the truth hurts, and you just somehow can't seem to grasp
Accept
that
it.
and be like, oh, okay,
Cause
he's right, we shouldn't go.
John's always right. Women are always right, but John is always right. Which
Not
does
always, but
you
most
are
of the time.
always right.
Most.
I think I've been right like twice. Like for real. So challenges, I don't think we don't have challenges because we said,
I think you can't say you don't have challenges. Everybody has challenges. I think
well,
it just doesn't
looking
seem.
at the picture, it's like
It just
fighting.
doesn't seem like a challenge because we somehow manage to address the situation. Not easily. We find common ground and we work on the challenge before it becomes a problem. So initially or immediately when you say a challenge, you think of something that that was so hard.
But
there's a challenge. There's always a challenge.
Flashback to that was a challenge. Not really. There's not a
you
lot of
being
things
upset with me for being upset.
Yes.
There was a stage where I could not be angry or be like, what you did today pissed me off, I'm tired, I'm in a bad mood, leave me alone. It's because you were always a person that was, oh, you offended or you irritated with me or with anything, so you go to the room and you be in your feels. But if I have a timeout and I'm like, today was the day that showed me flames, I just don't want to do anything. I want to be depressed and sit in my room and do nothing. You found it hard for that to happen because I'm usually the one that's like, no, man, you'll be fine. Let's do something. Let's go and watch TV. Let's do this. Let's play a game. Whatever.
Boost the mood.
Yes, but sometimes even the happy people, the people that are positive, also need a day of, hey, I need to feel hopeless.
Yes.
And you couldn't accept that. That was a challenge.
I think I wasn't used to that because I'm always happy or always try to make the situation better than what it is. I guess I just didn't know how to understand. But now I do.
Now you do.
I think it's because we always talk. So if before we actually started dating, we sent a list of stuff that we hate, deal breakers, that type of thing. So we already had a guideline entering the relationship. So if you default, it's not like you didn't know because you were given a heads up.
Even if you default, it was more of like a, here's the outline of what you should stick to. If you don't, fair enough, you can just remind each other, hey, John, I told you I don't like vulgar language. Can you cut down on the swearing? Cool. And I'd remind myself. But I think the biggest thing that the biggest attribute or that was good or going for us was the fact that we were able to listen to each other without getting defensive. Because there were many times I came from a background, not a background, but I was in a phase of, even if I was excited and I was like, this juice is good, it wouldn't be this juice is good, this juice is effing good. That's the people I hung around with, and that's how a swear word could be something positive or negative.
Okay.
And sitting with you were like, no, that doesn't sound right. And you had to remind me, please, when I'm around, at least try not to. Cool. And then it got to a point where I was like, hey, it does sound a bit weird.
I'm a good influence. Cool.
No, you're just forceful. And then
it's okay, one.
I was just like, okay, cool, that does sound a bit weird, and I toned it down. And to now the point where I'm like, if I do sway, I'm probably very, 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 very angry.
Which means I'm changing for the better.
Oh, whatever.
What?
Overfeeling yourself now.
Are you looking at our camera?
No, I'm not looking at the camera. I'm looking at everything but the camera.
Why?
I don't know.
Must I put an arrow for you?
No, I don't want to look at the camera.
You can look at this dolly pot. Okay, complete trust. I think I'm a very trusting person. I don't think there's been a day I doubted you because you've never given me a reason to not trust. And I think seeing relationships around me, I knew that some people do not trust their partners, and I try to use them as a guideline to not do what they did. I don't know how to explain. So, like, I'm chilled if John looks at another woman in public. He can.
That sounds so wrong.
Yeah, he can text someone like a work colleague, or if he decides, hey, a girl popped up into my mind that was his friend at campus, and he decides to open Messenger and message her, like, I really couldn't care, because I don't know, maybe I trust him too much, but I'm just like, why should I police someone that's grown, that can make their own decisions? If you want to be with me, you'll be with me. If you default or you cross the line, then you must go. How did you find
You were a
complete
blade,
trust?
so
Some
that
people
was
don't know
fine.
what's a blade.
You were wet behind the ears. That was your first everything, so chances are you weren't gonna do anything outside of me.
How do
No,
you
I'm joking.
know?
It wasn't that. I think only now, when I'm older, or us being together for that long,
We've been together for 9 years.
I can
guys.
tease and say
It's
that.
so
But I've
long.
never ever thought that. I think it was more your personality where I could see, okay, this person. Not that I was like 100% fully trusting. I always leave room for disappointment. Yes. But I was like, cool, there's like a 99.9% chance that this one is not going to do something faulty. If she's over it and she's like, right, this relationship is boring, she'd probably tell me, hey, I don't think this is working, we need to bounce. And which is what we did with everything else. Like, hey, I don't like that perfume, can you stop wearing it? Or I don't like that shoe,
but true.
Can you not wear that shoe when you're with me? Or whatever it is. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And doesn't mean I'm going to do it. I could still be like, shame, you found me with this perfume, you wouldn't smell the perfume. If you don't like it, you can bounce. And that was my attitude throughout our relationship. I never ever bowed down or like bent over backwards. It was when I chose to bend over backwards, then I did. But not because she said, oh, I like pancakes, now every day I'm buying you pancakes. You can tell me, give me the information, and I'd be like, oh, okay, you'll wait a year before you get a pancake from me. That's just how I am. I'm not going to get the information and be like, ooh, I need to make sure Steph stays with me. And because as much as it may be like a backward thinking, or I don't know how, or I guess like chauvinistic type of thinking, but oftentimes when you see people or men who are too giving and too nice and too, kind towards a woman, it could be even a great woman that, yes, she's a good marriage material type of woman, she will take advantage of him because she can see how if she says she doesn't want KFC and she wants McDonald's, he's gonna get it, or he'll never ever step foot in KFC again. And she's like, oh, I've got him unders, cool, whatever I want, I get it. And it's not a thing of that person or that woman is bad, it's just the situation you're in. If I'm in a situation where I can see every time I go to the shop, this person doesn't charge me for, I don't know, my haircut, but I go in, I will always, then I start getting to a point where I expect it to be free, where I don't even go to the barber with my money on me. Mm-hmm. And then one day he decides to say, that'll be 200 Rand, why? And then you're like, oh my gosh. It doesn't come with my paper money. And then it becomes a problem, and then you'll fight, and then you just no more your barber. Same thing when the man decides to put his foot down and be like, hey, I've been spoiling you for too long. Then it's how you've changed. It's not that I've changed, I've just realized that I've spoiled you. So I always thought, my theory was, I'm going to be me, and if you don't like it, then you can bounce. And I think that made it easier for both of us to work with each other. I'm not that type of girl, but I know you've known those type of girls. Yes, I feel like people who are not those type of girls end up being in those situations, and that makes them be that way with that particular person. And that's how you get people who know how to test person A, but person B,
They don't.
you don't try it.
And I'm person A, people always test me. And you person B, people never test you.
I don't know why.
Yeah, because you look mean. The next topic, you can say the word.
Sexual exploration. You can start since I said the word. You must talk about.
I think this was probably the one thing I always feared, because being a Christian girl, I was like, not in the streets, not to be rude to anyone else that was, but I didn't know anything about this topic going into my marriage and my family background. Like, people don't talk about this. It's not an open thing or like something that's discussed. So when I got married, I had to research stuff for myself, or like speak to John and ask him, okay.
Even something as simple as going on a contraceptive from her side, you can't just go on it today and then tomorrow think you're covered. It needs to be in your system.
And
for
I thought
like 3
that
months.
you can.
And
John schooled me.
I was like, no. That is why Kate's jumping the gun to co-creation.
Yes.
But that is why people probably think, oh, we're harsh or we mean or we ungrateful for having a kid. I'm grateful I have a kid.
Same.
But the way she came about, she's very forward. And clearly God wanted her to be here, so she's here. So for me, I'm like, the reason why I'm saying that is she was on a contraceptive. I was like, hell no, I'm not trusting your 2-minute noodle contraceptive that you just started last week. And now you're going to think we're going to do squirnies. No, I'm still using a condom.
Wow.
Because I don't trust. It's not
and
in your system.
Real, guys.
And then you still fall pregnant, and I'm like, maybe she was poking needles into the condom.
Why would I do that?
I don't know. Maybe you wanted to see how cute your child's gonna be. Oh, people have done worse.
At the risk of my finances.
Wow.
That doesn't make sense.
People do crazy things.
So I think for sex, it was a very new thing for me. John had been in the streets, not in a rude way. So he actually helped me, which I preferred, because I was like, if we were both two people that came in knowing nothing, we would have just stood by each other naked, like.
We'd have been on the baby number 3 now.
Yeah, we probably would have had a squad by mistake. And I think with that, maybe because I knew I didn't know a lot of stuff, I researched stuff. I asked John, for example, okay, what's do's and don'ts? So I don't just pitch into the room with bum shorts, and he absolutely hates bum shorts, for example. And then it's a turn off on his part. So I'd ask, okay, what's your preference? Do you like this? Do you not like this? And I think over the years we figured out what is a yes and what is a no.
I think it's
but
also
we
just
both were open.
Being intentional about what you're doing. So if you walk into the room with your bum shorts for the first time without discussing with your man, and you see that, oh, okay, there's a good reaction, keep note of it. You can't just be like, okay, you walk into the room. You do all these different things and you never ever take note of it. And now it's a thing of, you're supposed to tell me what you like, what you don't. Oh, and this is one of the things that we fought about. Or I was like, John, I don't need to tell you.
Pay attention, because I'd be like, do you like this? And you'd be like, you must pay attention. And I'm like,
because how did I figure out what you like?
Because I'm new at the game and everything feels good.
Shame. Did you tell me? No, I had to pay attention while I'm busy there and there and there.
Oh, you other
girls.
I
had to put one eye there going, oh, her face did that.
Wow.
So
that's so rude. I don't go like that, but you don't need to say
I'll keep quiet, yeah.
That is so rude. I can't believe you exposed me. I'm going to close this topic. Is that fine? Is that fine?
You can close.
Our next topic is stability. I think this is what I've always wanted for my family, is stability, because I was raised in a house that was stable but a bit everywhere because I was raised by a single parent and so was John. So I think we just wanted to bring our child. Well, we didn't think that we're gonna have a child. We just wanted a healthy relationship and a healthy home. So our list again came into play. We were like, this is the way forward. This is how we're executing. Are you on board? Yes or no?
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that's how we
I think we had a lot of
discussion.
a lot of discussions before the actual event or thing that happened. Excuse me. So with family dynamics and such, even going back to dating, like when I knew, okay, cool, I would like to date her for real, was she accepted an invite to come to my friend's house for a braai.
I was vegetarian.
You weren't vegetarian, you ate chicken. So I.
Because of you.
No, you didn't.
I was veg. I only ate chicken because of
She had potato salad, okay, on a roll. And I literally said, okay, cool. I wouldn't do that. Even now, like as a married couple, you would hardly find us separated at a braai or like a function. We'd probably be sitting together, but we won't be on top of each other. But
people
we'd be sitting together, like kind of how we are now. Talk, watch, think of, or see what people are doing. But at this particular braai, I was like, this is so and so, this is so and so. I introduced her to everybody. And then I left her with the ladies and I disappeared. And I stood and I watched.
And I was fine with
that.
And
I wanted to see. And obviously before then I'd said, okay, guys, you must give me feedback when the day is over. And I wanted to see how she interacts. If you're going to sit there like a square and you can't make conversation. Or if someone teases you, because my friends, they tease, they'll be like, yo, what's happening with your legs? You look like, what's that dude from Street Fighter that used to tease you? Abu kick with the legs. Dalton. Oh, you look like Dalton. You can kick us from 2 rooms away. You know, that type of teasing. Meanness. And she was able to come back and say, oh, at least I can kick you from 2 rooms away. What happened to you? You need a belt even for your boxers because you've got no bum kind of thing. And then they were actually charmed that she retaliated and was able to come with a comeback that quick. And they were like, wow, okay. And I was like, wow, okay, I can move with you because there's nothing worse than going somewhere
with
and someone's pulled up and you can't do anything, and now that person's standing with the guys and the guys just want to talk nonsense and now they can't, and they're all looking at you like,
chase your girl.
Oh, what kind of your cherry, bro?
Exactly.
She must vie. So that was her test. She passed the flying colors and I was like, cool. We always sort of have the talk or the plan or something to sort of discuss before anything happens, and we're like, okay, going forward, if this situation ever has to happen or this type of scenario has to happen, how would you react?
And we basically covered like all, hey?
And it's most of the time it's random, or like if someone else has an issue, like for instance cheating, she knows very well if she had to be caught cheating, she won't even get a message from me. My stuff will just be gone and she'll come back to an empty home. I won't fight, I won't say anything. She'll just come back to an empty home.
Will Zia be gone?
Zia will be gone. Whatever's in my name will be gone. Whatever's in your name will stay behind. And you'll come back to nothing. What? A laptop.
Wow, that's not very kind. Fine. Commitment. We did share about commitment.
I think we did.
It was waiting. And then co-creation, being parents. You can go first.
Like we said, it wasn't exactly in our plan. I mean, we had planned, 5 years after marriage, we would rethink the situation.
Because we never wanted to have kids.
I was quite fine. People. I guess we were both fine with being that auntie and uncle that come to the party and the braai.
And we're chilling.
Top presents and top meat, and we just chill, and then we're like, okay, bye.
Watch and judge everyone
we're going to, or declining the offer, because we're like, sorry, we're going to be in Bali, we're traveling. No, we can't even go to Margate. But
exactly.
So we were more than fine being those people. And then
My
I
country
guess
accepts
God
it.
decided otherwise. And being a parent is fine.
It is fine.
How do I explain?
It's good and bad.
When you, I don't even want to say when you make the best of a bad situation, because it wasn't a bad situation.
It was for me.
It just wasn't a situation we wanted. So it's not bad as when it's like, yo, how shame you went through stuff. We didn't go through stuff. It was just something that we didn't want to happen, happened. So it wasn't a negative thing. It was just negative to us. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yes, it does.
So I was just like, cool, it's here. And we used to say it for a while.
Yeah, because we didn't want to accept that we were having a child. So we asked, is it there? Is it moving?
Zia's name was Seed for, I'd say,
a long time.
About a year.
Yeah, it was.
Because during the pregnancy and even after the pregnancy when she was here, we used to call her Seed because we didn't want to say, give her an actual name
or make
to make it real.
Yes.
Because then it's like, yo, it's really here. And honestly, maybe it's a bit dark, but for a while we were also like, cool, we're not going to get too attached because you never know. First pregnancy is usually, or
people
there's a high
percentage
Please
excuse my blanket, it's cold in Durban streets.
There's a high percentage of miscarriage and stuff. I don't want to get attached to something I actually didn't want.
Yeah.
And then I do finally be like, oh, okay, I'm having a baby, yay.
And then I must
and
try
then the baby dies and you're like, oh, okay. So we just literally used to say, it is 7 months today in the tummy, it is this. You need to feed it, that type of thing.
It seems
and then
dark,
it became
but
like,
if you had a kid,
people used to be like, oh, you call your child it, and then we just said seed because at the time she was the size of a seed and in the belly, so we just used to say seed is hungry, I'm gonna go and eat. Seed is making me feel weird.
Yep.
I'm not hungry, but I know I need to eat. I'm gonna feel nauseous. Seed is making me. So it was when we referred to our child, Seed was the name.
And then with broken telephone, my sister told me that my family thought that Zia's name was Sedi.
Sedi.
Because on Insta I used to post Seed, and then my sister asked me, are you really naming Zia?
No, your gran asked.
My gran asked me, what's this child's name
Are you really naming it Sedi?
Are you naming the child Sedi? And I was dead because broken telephone. I was like, guys, Sedi, like from where? Sedi Jones. Do you remember we were actually ripped at the Sedi thing? I forgot about that. But yeah, Sedi.
Going back to what you were supposed to say when you took it down.
No, it was just co-creation.
I guess we kind of also figured, or like again, we went back to our discussion. Okay, we're in the situation. You're about to have a kid. Your kid's going to be here in 2021. Or what are you doing? How are we discussing? What's my views on parenthood? Are you okay with smacking? Or are you not okay with smacking?
Yep.
Do you believe in naughty corner? Do you not believe in naughty corner?
What will you do?
All those things, yeah. All those types of things would...
Our list.
Yeah, and like even up till today, we've discussed stuff of when she's 16, 17 and she's like, Dad...
When Razia's ready to break her virginity.
I'm ready to do rude.
We already know how we would handle that. Well, in our minds.
Theoretically, yeah.
Yes.
So we've discussed all those things and we're like, okay, this is my view, what's your view? And most times we sort of come to the same conclusion. Maybe it's not the same method. It's not the same method, but we still get to the same result. You may say, no, you're going to sit with her, talk with her privately. I might be like, we're having a family discussion because it's my money and your money that's going to be potentially raising a grandkid because this one's ready to do rude.
Mm-hmm.
So
rude is sex, by the way, in the colored community.
Everybody knows what
doing rude.
Dance
I don't know why it's called rude. But yeah.
You want to eat big people's food. And then, so we've had those discussions and we've said, okay, cool, this is what we would like to do. So most of the stuff, I'd say we
prepared for in our head. Execution might be different.
Yes.
But I guess you rather pre-plan fly-by-nightly than to have no plan.
Because when something does happen and, for instance, I discipline her in a certain way, and Steph is not here, or vice versa.
Oh yeah, we smack Zia.
I can't come home and be like, why did you smack Zia?
Yes,
because you know that I'm gonna do that, and I've said to you, cool. There's days where I look at him like, hey, bro, like we actually fight because she's annoying both of us, and she'd be like, no, Dad, don't hit her. Come Zia, sit by me. And then she does something, and then Zia gets smacked, and I'm like, but that's not fair. I wanted to smack her, and you didn't allow me. So why are you smacking her?
Because I could see if her dad cracked it was gonna be worse. But sometimes it's actually not.
Sometimes I think you give a worse high.
I don't like hitting Zia because I know if I do smack her, she's gonna die. And it's weird because she actually, in my brain, some people are like gentle parenting. Yes, we've actually been doing gentle parenting. Maybe on month 1, 2.
Because I feel like, yes, as much as I'm a believer of giving a hiding, sometimes it can be
scary to your child.
Not even scary to your child. Sometimes you notice or you realize that, oh, okay, because it's easier to give a hiding, you just tend to go that route as first option. Whereas if you just said, no, you can't have this, you can have this, try this option, can we sit down and talk about it? It might take longer and it's more effort or time consuming. Then you catch a hiding, go sit in the corner, excuse me. And I've learned that, okay, there's certain situations where that is needed, where you're just sitting down and saying, what do you want? Okay, let's go and do this instead. Versus a hiding. There's things where I've now said to myself, you can see she knows what she's doing is wrong, but she still does it. That deserves a hiding.
Yes,
and then an explanation afterwards. But if you just being a kid and you spill juice,
and then you get
cracked, which is what I used to do. I'm like, okay, cool, I need to cut that down.
It's a mistake. Because they shall be scared to make mistakes.
So I'm like, I can't now hit you for making a mistake.
Your parenting is really tricky though, because
there's days where I want to throw in the bin and just...
And then there's also outside people that think they can tell you what to do, or like other parents that think that their parenting style is better than yours, or like someone that doesn't hit their kid will be like, no, don't hit Zia, this is what you should do, but they would not take your advice to implement on their kids. So I think being a parent is probably the most judgiest thing you'd have to do, because people are always watching to see if your kid has manners. Can they count? Can they talk? Are they potty trained?
And I think
there's a lot of pressure.
People forget that each kid, even within the same family, siblings that are born a year apart, develop differently. They have strengths, they have weaknesses. So one kid could be, for instance, we've noticed Zia, we were shocked that Zia started walking at a very early age compared to most people. At 7 months, she started walking. Cool.
And everyone's happy. I was just
it wasn't like a full on walk. Obviously, everyone starts at the beginning. So her first stumble 2 steps was at 7 months and continued. And then there's people that are out there that are like, yo, my kid is almost 1.5, and they're only figuring out how to walk now. But maybe your kid has all their teeth. Zia's hustling to get teeth.
Yeah, Zia doesn't.
Zia didn't have hair for the longest time, and she was looking like a boy. So, but your kid has got hair down to their bum. Each kid develops differently. Maybe your kid can speak and have a full sentence at 1 year old. And my kid is only saying and can point. Each kid develops differently. Even within their own family, you've got siblings who are a year or 2 years apart. One will be faster in walking, and then the other one will be like, cool, I've got all my teeth and I'm able to say words before the other.
And I know
it just depends on what happens.
And it's not a reflection of how you parent. Because honestly speaking, I do not teach Zia stuff. Like, I've never forced her to learn how to count. I've never forced her colors. She watches these lame YouTube shows and she picks up on that.
I feel like the best, even for adults, the best way to learn something is through fun. So if you're making counting fun, she's going to pick up on it. So what we used to do is be like, cool, you're walking up the stairs, 1, 2, 3. That's how she caught on to the counting thing, because every time we go up or down a set of stairs,
she counts.
She would count.
But
then she's watching
fun.
YouTube stuff that's counting. It wasn't, okay, we are having homework time now. You're going to sit and you're going to count
matching
for 30 minutes. You're going to match this. You're going to do. Cool, there's people who do that. And if it works for your kid, great.
That's fine.
But that wasn't us. In everything, like a lot of stuff that we do. And I'm sure, like, even I would say my mother probably is like, yo, these guys are too relaxed and too chilled with everything they do in life. But that's who we are. That's how we are. We never been those people to be like, we need to make sure we've planned and done stuff for 10 years ahead. In a sense, that was my characteristics, but that's because of me growing up in the household that I did. That's how we
That's
were
how
raised.
It worked. It was your household
and it worked.
dynamic.
But with growing or raising a kid, and like, in my opinion, we're taking the fun out of being a kid.
I think the one thing for me
the way you're going to learn,
why am I forcing my child to count at 1 when they're going to
the
be
way you're going to learn
12
is
years?
if you're watching Miss Rachel, if you're watching Gracie's Corner and she's singing about Twinkle Twinkle Little Star and you catch on, then great. If you don't, also great. And that's how she figured out most of
everything.
Her stuff.
I think the only thing that we've taught her is please and thank you, hello, auntie and uncle. But like the in-betweens, like, no.
All the other stuff has literally come from watching Miss Rachel.
And people are anti-TV time, and we were like,
oh, we're never going to let our child be babysat by a TV. And then checking how Miss Rachel's doing the things, like if any of you have a kid between, I would even say 3 months and up.
Yes.
Miss Rachel's the plug. Your child will come out
Gracie's Corner
not needing
music.
Yes, not needing school. I know that's a very bold statement, but
yes.
Honestly speaking, we've seen many kids grow from just watching Miss Rachel on YouTube, and it's like you start seeing, okay, they watch it often, and then the next thing your kid is even imitating the lady, and you're like,
before the part comes on.
Yes, she knows what the next song is going to be and is doing the hand gestures. Like I even read, someone posted, Daryl Williams, he's also giving props to Miss Rachel because he's also got a 2-year-old, and he was like, yo, my kid is doing the things he's ready or she's ready for grade R just from Miss Rachel. And everyone in the comments was saying, someone even said the kid can even sign language a few words because of watching. And we've seen it there when you're saying more, you want more food, that's more. And just the other day, cool, she caught it on late, but the other day I saw her saying she wants more food, and I was like, coincidence, and I just gave it. Then the next day she did it also, and I was like, Ivo, okay, yes, stop. So I feel like if you just have that, and I'm not saying sit and put the child in front
your kid
for 20
to crash,
hours,
but I'm cool whether you do, or whether you don't. Like, it's your choice.
And let me tell you, it's great if you're trying to make a chow and your kid's up your bum.
You put it on
put
and
that
then
thing
you get
on
free time.
with a packet of fruits or chips or whatever your kid likes. Oh, you got an hour to yourself. Bye.
No, I was saying good for Miss Rachel.
Bye.
No.
I was like, how? Okay.
I was like, you're good for free time. Parenting is a good, but there's good and bad days. Yeah. And don't get a kid if you don't know what you're getting yourself into, because people just want kids for Insta highlights. So don't do that. Thanks for coming to my channel. God bless.
What's my remuneration? I don't want to hug a kid for free.
After dark.
Oh, shit.